Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another edition of Making You a Bartending Pro. I'm Jason. So on this episode, I want to talk about a question from one of the live streams that came up, asked by Lady Stepanski, that says, do you think it's important for a bartender to have a social media account for followers to know where they're serving or to build a following? So this is interesting on a couple levels. Number one, just to basically answer the question, I would say yes, it's a good idea if you can have a social media base of probably just like your friends, and you know, it's not like you're going to be expected to have this huge group of followers if you're just kind of an average normal person, but it would be good to show that you do have social media accounts that you can post to let people know, like, hey, I'm working, you know, this day, this time. And they will like to see, and this is more common for bars and restaurants, to start to ask for links to your social media accounts. Now they'll say that they want to see how many followers you have and how many people you might be able to help bring in, but there's also the element of they just want to see what you look like, because this is a superficial sexist industry that is completely illegal, but it happens all the time. They want to see if you have radical political ideas that might be in conflict with their culture or their kind of points of views, either of the owners and management or other employees, or against the locals and customers that you have on a regular basis. So it just makes it easier for them to do research about who you really are, because when you come in for an interview, we always put our best foot forward, as you should. Now, if you're like completely against social media, then that's cool. I get it. I have many professors that warned me about using certain social media platforms and to not use it, and there's all kinds of research that shows it's bad for our brains and our happiness and all kinds of stuff. So I understand if you don't want to use social media, and if that's your stance, then just tell them, like, hey, I just prefer not to use it. You know, just kind of, you can give yourself an out. It's like, I've never really been a social media person, and you can let them know, it's like, if it's important to you, I can start these accounts up. So that may or may not be a strike against you if you're starting out and you're trying to get a job and they're asking for it. If they're adamantly asking about that stuff and you don't have it, then it could potentially hurt your opportunities to get hired at that establishment. But if you do have stuff already set up and you already have, you know, Facebook and Twitter or Instagram or whatever, then just put those links on there. Just make sure that you go in ahead of time. If you're a radical political spewer, then either go delete those or maybe don't give them the links to those profiles, because I guarantee you that that could potentially hurt your ability to get a job as well. In terms of the other side of our question of letting your followers know where you're working, then yeah, obviously that's an easy way to tell all your friends, hey, I'm working this night, come on down, especially if a lot of them are very active on the social platforms that you may be on. Then it's a great way for you to bring some business in. And if you can do that on a regular basis and show your managers and stuff that, hey, I'm putting these postings on and people are showing up, then you will definitely become a very valuable asset to the establishment. So it could be a good idea for you to think about having these in terms of just being able to broadcast when you're working and help bring business in for the establishment, because ultimately that's what they're looking for. From a business owner and a bar establishment's point of view, really what they want to do is to see if you have tools to help bring in more business. Now, this might be from us doing our job and creating good experiences so people want to come back, or it could be from your activity on social media. Do I think it's important? That's personal judgment. I don't think it's quite so prolific that you absolutely have to have it, but I do think that if you don't have any like major problems with using it, then you should probably at least set them up and try to get some of your friends following you so that you can at least point to, like, hey, you know, I have a couple hundred followers that I could try to broadcast anytime I'm working. So there you go, Miss Lady Stepanski. I hope that answers your questions, or any of you that may be curious about this. So if you have a preference or any stories about being asked about this, either being denied or hired because of your involvement on social media or activity on social media, then it would be interesting to hear about that story. Then please feel free to share in the comments below. If you have any other questions related to this stuff, please leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to clarify that as well. Otherwise, that will do it for this one. Remember, you can come watch these live streams and ask a question yourself every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. That's West Coast United States Pacific Standard. Until then, I'm Jason. This has been making you a bartending pro. I'll see you in the next episode soon. Take care. Cheers.